The ship hummed softly as it descended toward the planet Zarkin. The sky was a pale green, streaked with faint purple clouds, and the terrain below looked rough and jagged. Liam, the human explorer, tightened his harness and glanced at the console. He had been to many planets before, but Zarkin was different. It was known for its extreme weather, strange wildlife, and alien inhabitants who studied visitors carefully. As the landing gear touched the rocky ground, the doors opened with a hiss. Liam stepped out, taking a deep breath of the thin, crisp air. The ground was hard and uneven, and small stones crunched under his boots. He adjusted his pack and looked around. A group of Zarkin aliens was waiting nearby. They were tall and slender, with shimmering skin that changed color slightly depending on their mood. Two of them, Kira and Vorn, approached him with cautious curiosity. "Welcome to Zarkin, human," Kira said. Her voice was melodic, but it carried authority. "We have prepared the medical station. Your arrival was expected." Liam nodded, smiling. "Thanks. I'm ready for the tour. I'm curious about everything here." He stepped forward, his movement relaxed, despite the harsh environment. The aliens led him to a large, dome-shaped building. Inside, the walls glowed softly, illuminating the room with a gentle light. Machines hummed and whirred, scanning the air and the humans standing before them. Liam followed Kira and Vorn, curious but calm. "Before we begin, we must perform a full-body scan," Vorn said. "It is our protocol for all visitors. It ensures your safety." Liam shrugged. "Sure. I trust your tech." He stepped onto a circular platform as soft beams of light passed over him. The scanners moved swiftly, recording every detail. Vorn's fingers danced across a holographic panel, adjusting settings and watching the data appear. Kira's eyes widened as she reviewed the results. 17 fractures, Kira whispered. Vorn's mandibles clicked in surprise. 17? Are you in pain? Liam raised a hand casually. "A little here and there, but nothing serious. I've had worse." The aliens stared at him. They could not understand how a creature with 17 broken bones could be so calm. Kira's color shifted slightly, a sign of alarm. "You must undergo treatment immediately," Kira said firmly. "These fractures are severe. They could lead to long-term damage if ignored." Liam laughed softly. "I'll be fine. Humans recover in ways you might not expect." Vorn frowned. "We have advanced healing technology. We can mend these fractures in hours. It is safer than waiting for natural recovery." "I appreciate it," Liam said, still relaxed. "But I prefer to let my body handle it. Humans are tougher than we look." The aliens exchanged worried glances. Kira took a step closer. "You are risking your health." "Are you certain?" "Yes," Liam said. "I've been through worse on Earth. Crashes, falls, storms. My body knows how to recover. I do not need constant intervention." Vorn hesitated but finally nodded. "Then we will observe. But if your condition worsens, you must agree to treatment." "Deal," Liam replied with a grin. The aliens led him through the medical dome, explaining the planet and the scans, but Liam was also watching everything. He noticed the intricate patterns on the walls, the energy flowing through conduits, and the strange flora growing in hydroponic gardens inside the building. He asked questions about their technology, their culture, and the strange ways they moved. Kira and Vorn were impressed by his curiosity and intelligence. After the tour, Liam stepped outside again. The Zarkin sun glinted off jagged rocks, and the wind carried a strange metallic scent. He felt alive, even with the fractures hidden beneath his clothes. "You must rest," Kira said. "Even if you feel fine, your body needs time." "I will rest," Liam said, "but I like exploring. I cannot sit still for long." The aliens watched as he moved across the rocky terrain. He climbed a small ridge, testing the ground carefully, yet moving faster than anyone expected. Small pebbles slid under his boots, but he did not falter. Kira whispered to Vorn. Humans are strange. How can one body endure so much? Vorn shook his head. We must study this. It is beyond our knowledge. Liam paused at the top of the ridge and looked back at the station. From there, he could see the entire valley. Strange rivers of liquid shimmered in the sunlight, and distant mountains rose sharply into the sky. He smiled, feeling the thrill of exploration. Beautiful, isn't it? He said aloud, though no one else was near. Kira and Vorn joined him quietly. It is indeed, Kira said. But do not push yourself too far. Liam shook his head. Humans push limits. Pain and danger are part of learning. I know my body. The aliens did not respond, but they watched carefully. They realized that humans were not like other species they had studied. Humans faced injury and danger with a calm determination that seemed almost impossible. As the sun set on Zarkin, Liam sat on a rock, watching the sky turn a deep violet. The fractures in his body throbbed faintly, but he barely noticed. He thought of all the planets he had visited, all the challenges he had faced. This was just another adventure, another story to tell. Kira and Vorn stood nearby, observing. They could not deny it. This human was extraordinary. They had seen strength, endurance, and courage that their advanced technology could barely comprehend. Liam was a puzzle, a marvel, and a lesson waiting to be learned. Tomorrow, Liam said quietly, we explore the northern canyon. It looks dangerous, but that's where the best discoveries are. Kira's color shifted again, this time in concern. Dangerous for someone with 17 fractures. Liam smiled. I'll be fine. Trust me. The aliens exchanged a look. They did not fully understand humans yet, but they were beginning to see why humans survived where others failed. And in that moment, under the strange sky of Zarkin, Liam's calmness and courage became the first lesson the aliens would never forget. The next morning, Liam woke to the soft hum of the Zarkin station. The light inside the dome shifted slowly, illuminating the room in calming shades of green and blue. He stretched carefully, feeling the faint aches from his fractures. The discomfort was real, but he ignored it. For him, it was normal. Outside, Kira and Vorn were already preparing for the day. Kira's skin shimmered with concern as she organized the healing devices. Vorn adjusted the scanners and sensors. They had spent the night discussing the human's unusual tolerance for pain. 17 fractures, yet he slept comfortably and showed no signs of panic or distress. The aliens could not comprehend it. Kira, Vorn said, his voice low, we must insist on treatment. If a human were any weaker, he could be permanently damaged. Our protocols do not allow ignoring such injuries. Kira shook her head. I know the rules, but this human is different. I think observing him will teach us more than forcing treatment. Vorn frowned. Observation alone is dangerous. What if something goes wrong? Then we help him immediately, Kira replied. But I see strength in him. He will not break easily. Meanwhile, Liam stepped out onto the rocky terrain. The sun was higher in the sky, warming the stones beneath his boots. He admired the landscape and began walking toward a nearby ridge. Small rocks shifted under his weight, yet he moved steadily. Kira and Vorn followed at a distance, their expressions a mixture of worry and fascination. You must be careful, Kira called. Your bones are not fully healed. Even a small fall could be serious. Liam turned and smiled. I appreciate your concern, but I've learned to move carefully, even with injuries. I won't take unnecessary risks. As they walked, Liam told the aliens more about human life. He described survival on harsh planets, climbing mountains, and enduring storms. He spoke of humans helping each other in dangerous situations and pushing limits to explore and learn. Kira listened intently, and Vorn nodded occasionally. The more they heard, the more they realized how unusual humans were. At one point, Liam paused near a small pool of shimmering liquid. He knelt and touched the surface, watching the strange ripples. Kira approached cautiously. "This substance is acidic," she warned. "It could burn you." Liam looked at his hand, then smiled. "I've handled worse chemicals on Earth. It's part of learning." Vorn frowned. "You underestimate risk," he said. "Your species values bravery, but sometimes it borders on recklessness." "I call it survival," Liam replied. "We humans adapt. Pain and danger teach us how to endure. My body knows how to heal itself. My mind knows how to remain calm." The aliens exchanged another look. They were beginning to understand that humans were not fragile, no matter what the scans showed. Later, they returned to the station. Kira insisted on running additional scans, trying to determine how the fractures were healing naturally. The results surprised her. Bones were slowly aligning, and even minor cracks were beginning to mend. Liam's body was performing beyond what alien technology predicted for a creature with his injuries. "You are remarkable," Kira said quietly. "Your body adapts in ways we do not fully understand." Liam shrugged. "Humans are built to survive. We push ourselves, and we heal. That's part of being alive." Vorn, however, remained skeptical. "You are risking yourself unnecessarily. We could accelerate healing with our devices. You could recover fully in hours." "I prefer to see what my body can do," Liam said calmly. "I want to feel the recovery myself. That's part of the adventure." The aliens continued to monitor him throughout the day. Kira took careful notes, recording every movement, every sign of discomfort, and every small improvement. Vorn analyzed the data, trying to compare it with other species. Humans were proving to be an anomaly. Their bodies endured damage that would incapacitate others, and their determination seemed endless. As the sun began to set on Zarkin, Liam prepared for a short climb. He pointed to a jagged ridge nearby. "That looks interesting," he said. "I want to see what's at the top." Kira's color shifted slightly, a sign of worry. "That ridge is steep. You should not attempt it in your condition." "I'll be careful," Liam replied. "I move slowly and watch every step. Trust me." Vorn shook his head. "Humans defy logic," he muttered. Liam began climbing. His movements were precise, almost like a practiced rhythm. The fractures throbbed faintly, but he ignored the pain. Small pebbles tumbled down, but he adjusted his steps effortlessly. Kira and Vorn followed, keeping a safe distance. Halfway up, Liam paused to catch his breath. He looked down at the station and then across the valley. Streams of liquid glowed faintly in the twilight, and distant cliffs rose sharply into the sky. He smiled, feeling the thrill of discovery. "You see this often?" Liam asked, turning to Kira. "Not like this," she replied. "Your ability to endure, even with injuries, is what amazes us. Others would have stopped long ago." "That's human nature," Liam said. "We keep going, even when it's difficult. We do not give up easily." Vorn adjusted his sensors, trying to measure Liam's stress and fatigue. The readings were unusual. His body was under strain, yet his mind remained calm. The aliens had never observed anything like it. When they reached the top of the ridge, Liam examined the area carefully. Strange crystal formations rose from the ground, and tiny creatures scuttled between the rocks. Liam crouched, observing them. "These creatures are fascinating," he said. "On Earth, we study similar life forms. We learn from every interaction." Kira and Vorn nodded. They were learning, too. Liam's courage and curiosity were teaching them something far beyond medicine. Humans were not only survivors but explorers, thinkers, and learners. As night fell, Liam and the aliens returned to the station. Liam was tired but satisfied. His fractures ached slightly, but he ignored them. He had pushed his body, tested its limits, and survived. Kira and Vorn watched him settle for the night. Kira spoke softly, almost to herself. "We must continue studying him. Humans are more than strong. They are extraordinary." Vorn agreed. "Indeed. If our species ever understands them fully, we will have learned resilience in its purest form." Liam lay down, looking at the glowing ceiling of the dome. He thought of the adventures ahead, of the discoveries waiting on Zarkin, and of the lessons he would share. Pain and danger were part of life, and humans had a way of facing them with courage. As he drifted to sleep, Kira and Vorn continued their watch, realizing that they were witnessing something historic. A human was not just a visitor on Zarkin. He was a teacher, a symbol of strength, and a reminder that resilience came not from technology alone, but from the spirit within. The morning light filtered through the dome as Liam sat on a low rock, stretching his arms and legs. His body still carried the faint aches of 17 fractures, but he moved with a calm confidence. Kira and Vorn approached him, carrying data tablets and observation devices. They had been up since dawn, eager to understand how this human endured injuries that would immobilize most creatures. "Today," Kira said, "we wish to hear more about your experiences. Tell us how humans survive such danger. It may help us understand your species better." Liam smiled. "Sure. Humans have been surviving in difficult conditions for thousands of years. We have learned to endure pain, adapt quickly, and work together." He paused and gestured to the surrounding landscape. "For example, on Earth, we have mountains higher than clouds. Some storms can last for weeks. We climb, hike, and sometimes fall. We get hurt, but we keep going. Our bodies heal, and our minds stay focused on the goal." Vorn adjusted the scanner aimed at Liam's body. "You speak as if injury is normal. How do you manage fear and pain at the same time?" Liam shrugged. "Pain is part of life. Fear is too. Humans learn to control them. When you are focused on survival or discovery, the pain becomes something you notice but do not let control you. You think about the next step, the next action, the next decision. That keeps you moving." Kira blinked, her color shifting slightly in fascination. "It seems impossible. Our species would stop immediately under such conditions." Liam chuckled softly. "Different species have different strengths. Humans survive because we push our limits. We value experience and learning more than comfort. We are stubborn in ways that help us endure." He leaned back on his hands, looking at the horizon. "I remember one mission on a planet with storms so strong they could tear metal apart. I slipped, fell, and fractured my leg and arm. Other crew members panicked, but I focused. I set a temporary brace with what we had, continued the exploration, and returned safely. My body healed afterward, just as it will here." Vorn looked at him in astonishment. "Your species treats injury almost as a challenge rather than a warning." Liam nodded. "Exactly. Humans measure resilience by how well we continue, not by avoiding pain. Every fracture, every bruise, every injury teaches something. We learn our limits and how to surpass them." Kira leaned closer. "Do you not feel fear when your bones are broken? 17 fractures is unimaginable." Liam shrugged again. "I feel it, yes. But I choose not to let it stop me. Fear is a signal, not a barrier. I use it to stay alert, to be careful, to plan the next action. That's how we survive." The aliens exchanged a look. Vorn's sensors were still recording unusual readings. The human's body showed signs of stress, but his heart rate was steady, and his mind showed no panic. Kira made careful notes. She realized that Liam's courage was not only mental but also biological. Humans could withstand trauma in ways that other species could not. "Show us more," Vorn said. "Tell us about other situations. What makes humans endure?" Liam leaned back and smiled, his eyes reflecting the sunlight. "Humans endure because we care. We care for others, for our mission, for knowledge. When you are responsible for someone else, you push through pain because stopping could hurt them. That gives us strength." He gestured to the alien medics. "I am sure if someone depended on me here, I would ignore my fractures to help them. That is human nature. We endure because the stakes are bigger than ourselves." Kira looked at him with admiration. "So your strength is not only physical. It is also emotional." "Exactly," Liam said. "Humans are complex. Pain is temporary. Purpose lasts longer." He stood and began walking toward a rocky plateau nearby. Kira and Vorn followed cautiously. Liam climbed steadily, testing every step. Small stones shifted under his boots, but he did not falter. The fractures in his body throbbed faintly, but he ignored them. He focused on each movement, each hold, each step forward. Vorn whispered to Kira. "No species we have studied moves like this after severe injuries. The combination of physical resilience and mental focus is remarkable." Kira nodded. "He is teaching us more than science. He is teaching us philosophy, endurance, and courage." At the top of the plateau, Liam knelt to examine a cluster of crystal formations. Tiny creatures scuttled around them, their shells reflecting the sunlight. Liam observed quietly, taking careful notes in a small notebook. "These crystals are alive in a way," he said softly. "On Earth, similar formations interact with their environment. Life exists in forms you may not expect. Observation teaches more than theory alone." Kira and Vorn watched him closely. His movements were deliberate, careful, and precise. Even with 17 fractures, Liam could climb, balance, and study his surroundings without hesitation. His focus and endurance were inspiring. As the sun climbed higher, Liam began sharing stories of other planets he had visited. He spoke of deserts where sandstorms could strip flesh from bones, of icy worlds where temperatures could freeze a human in minutes, and of forests with predators unlike anything on Zarkan. Each story included danger, injury, and survival. "And yet," Liam concluded, "humans endure. We learn, we adapt, and we move forward. Pain is temporary. Curiosity, courage, and purpose are permanent." Kira's color shifted again, this time a deep shade that indicated respect. Vorn's sensors recorded every detail, and his mandibles clicked thoughtfully. "Your species is extraordinary," Vorn said quietly. Liam smiled. "We are. But the important thing is not just strength. It is willingness to face challenges, to grow, and to protect others while doing so. That is what humans excel at." The aliens remained silent for a moment, absorbing his words. Liam sat back on the rocks, gazing at the horizon. The fractures ached slightly, but he did not complain. He had shared the essence of human endurance, and he knew that Kira and Vorn would remember this lesson. As the day wore on, the medics followed him, observing how he moved, how he balanced pain and action, and how he maintained his calm focus. Every step, every gesture, every choice Liam made reinforced the lesson that humans were not simply creatures of flesh and bone. They were explorers, thinkers, and survivors, capable of courage beyond measure. By the time the sun began to set, Liam had demonstrated more than resilience. He had shown what humans valued: knowledge, curiosity, courage, and the determination to endure for a greater purpose. Kira and Vorn returned to the station, their minds filled with admiration. Humans were not fragile. They were extraordinary. Liam finally returned to the dome, sitting quietly as the light dimmed. "Tomorrow," he said, "we will explore the canyon to the north. It looks dangerous, but that is where the best lessons are." Kira and Vorn exchanged a look. They were beginning to understand fully. Humans did not fear danger or injury. They faced it, endured it, and grew stronger because of it. And Liam was living proof of everything humans could accomplish. The next morning, the air in the Zarkan dome was crisp and quiet. Liam stretched as he prepared for the day's adventure. He had slept lightly but comfortably, and his body was already adjusting to the fractures. The alien medics, Kira and Vorn, were waiting with scanners and data pads. They had spent the night reviewing all the observations from the previous days, fascinated by human resilience. "Today, we will test your limits," Vorn said. "We wish to understand how your body responds under stress without using our healing technology." Liam smiled. "I thought you might say that." "Let's do it." Kira's skin shimmered nervously. "Are you certain? You have 17 fractures. Even moving too quickly could worsen your condition." "I know my body," Liam replied confidently. "I will not push recklessly, but I want to show you what humans can do." They began their journey toward a narrow canyon that cut sharply through Zarkan's rocky landscape. The wind whipped across the cliffs, carrying loose stones and dust. Liam moved carefully but steadily, testing each foothold. Kira and Vorn followed at a safe distance, their sensors recording every step and strain. "This terrain is challenging even for our species," Kira said. "You are remarkable to navigate it in your condition." Liam shrugged. "Humans learn to move in dangerous places. It is how we explore, survive, and grow." Halfway down the canyon, they encountered a steep slope with loose rocks. Liam paused, observing the surface. He knelt briefly and tested the rocks with his hands and feet, then began to descend carefully. The fractures in his body protested faintly, but he ignored the pain, focusing on balance and movement. Vorn whispered to Kira, "Even with injuries, his coordination is flawless." "I do not understand how this is possible." Kira shook her head. "Humans are more than their bodies. Their minds control their actions with a level of precision we rarely see." As they reached the bottom of the slope, Liam found a small cave. Its walls were covered in glowing minerals that pulsed faintly, illuminating the interior. He crouched to examine them, careful with each movement. "These minerals interact with the environment," Liam said. "On Earth, we study crystals that respond to temperature and pressure changes. This is similar. Observation will teach us more than theory alone." Kira and Vorn approached cautiously, noting how Liam balanced curiosity and safety. Despite 17 fractures, he moved with steady precision, almost as if he had no injuries at all. Vorn activated a small device to measure strain on Liam's bones. The readings were unusual. His skeleton was under pressure, but his body compensated in ways the device could barely track. Kira noted the data carefully. "This human adapts in real time," she said softly. "Our healing technology could not replicate this natural adjustment." Liam smiled at their fascination. "That is part of being human. We learn from every situation. Pain and risk are teachers, not enemies." Suddenly, a section of the cave wall shifted, sending small stones sliding toward them. Liam reacted instantly. He shifted his weight, caught a falling rock with his hand, and pushed himself forward without losing balance. Kira gasped, and Vorn's sensors recorded rapid spikes in stress. "You are faster than expected," Vorn said. "Even with fractures, your reflexes are remarkable." "I've learned to move quickly in dangerous situations," Liam replied calmly. "Experience teaches you timing, balance, and focus. That is how we survive." They continued deeper into the canyon. The walls narrowed, and the path became more treacherous. Liam carefully stepped over jagged rocks, crouched under low ceilings, and climbed small ledges. Each movement was calculated and precise, showing a level of endurance and focus that amazed the aliens. At one point, they reached a river of glowing liquid that flowed swiftly through the canyon. Liam knelt and tested the flow with a stick, watching how it moved. Kira shook her head. "Do not risk your body," she warned. "The current could sweep you away." Liam smiled. "I will not fall. Humans learn to assess danger and act safely. We are careful, but we do not let fear stop us." Using a combination of rocks and natural ledges, Liam crossed the river without incident. The fractures in his body throbbed faintly, but he ignored them. Kira and Vorn followed, amazed at his skill. "This human balances caution and daring perfectly," Kira said quietly. "It is unlike any species we have studied." Vorn nodded. "He demonstrates not only physical resilience but also mental discipline. The two combined create something extraordinary." Further into the canyon, Liam spotted a cluster of unusual crystals growing from the walls. He approached them slowly, examining their shapes and colors. The crystals pulsed faintly, reacting to his presence. "These crystals are alive in some way," Liam observed. "They respond to movement and light. On Earth, we have similar life forms that interact with their surroundings. Observation is the key to understanding them." Kira and Vorn watched him carefully. Liam moved deliberately, showing patience and respect for the environment. Even with 17 fractures, he navigated the space expertly, demonstrating strength, focus, and intelligence. As the day went on, the aliens continued to study him. Liam climbed small ledges, balanced on narrow rocks, and explored areas that would have been impossible for most species with injuries. The fractures throbbed faintly, but he ignored the discomfort. "You survived through adaptation," Vorn said quietly. "Your body responds to stress, and your mind controls your actions. It is remarkable." Liam paused, looking at the canyon floor. "Humans endure because we want to learn, explore, and protect. Pain is temporary. Purpose is permanent. That is what keeps us moving." Kira nodded, her color shifting with admiration. "We have much to learn from you. Your species is extraordinary. Not just physically, but in courage and determination." By evening, they returned to the station. Liam was tired but satisfied. The fractures in his body ached slightly, but he had proven that humans could endure extreme conditions without immediate intervention. Kira and Vorn reviewed the data, amazed at what they had observed. "This human is not fragile," Kira said softly. "He is more than strong. He is resilient, intelligent, and brave." Vorn agreed. "We will continue to study him. Humans may hold lessons we have never imagined." Liam stretched and smiled, watching the twin suns of Zarkan set over the horizon. "Tomorrow," he said, "we explore the northern cliffs. I think they hold more surprises." The aliens nodded, knowing that whatever challenges awaited, Liam would face them with the same courage and determination he had shown all day. Humans were truly extraordinary, and Zarkan would not forget the lessons they were learning from this single remarkable visitor. The morning on Zarkan began quietly, but the calm did not last. Liam had just stepped outside the dome, stretching his arms and legs, when the ground trembled slightly. Kira and Vorn noticed it too, their sensors alerting them to unusual activity. The wind carried a distant, low rumble that grew louder with every second. "Liam," Kira called, her skin flickering with urgency. "We detect instability in the northern cliffs. You must return to the station immediately." Liam looked at the sky, then at the jagged terrain ahead. "It looks serious. Let's go check. We can't ignore this." Vorn frowned. "Dangerous. You are still injured. You must not take risks." "I will be careful," Liam said calmly. "Sometimes, the best lessons come from facing real challenges." They hurried toward the northern cliffs. As they approached, rocks began to fall from above. A sudden meteor storm had started, with small meteors striking the cliffs and scattering debris. The ground shook violently. Liam felt his fractures protest, but he ignored the pain, focusing on every step. "Move quickly," Kira shouted. "The debris is spreading." Liam climbed over rocks and ducked under falling stones. His body was in pain, but his mind was steady. He noticed a group of young Zarkan researchers trapped near the cliffs. Their glowing eyes reflected fear. Without hesitation, Liam sprinted toward them, calculating every movement. "Follow me," he called. "Stay close, and move carefully." The young aliens hesitated, but they trusted him. Liam guided them through the debris, lifting small rocks, and blocking paths where meteors were likely to hit. Kira and Vorn followed, assisting where they could, but Liam was clearly leading the rescue. One of the researchers stumbled. Liam grabbed the alien's arm and pulled them to safety. Another rock slide blocked part of the path. Liam found a narrow route along the cliff edge and encouraged the group to move in single file. His body ached, but he ignored it. The fractures throbbed faintly, yet he continued to focus on the task. Vorn whispered to Kira, "He is risking himself beyond reason. Even for humans, this is extreme." Kira shook her head, though her color shifted with admiration. "This is more than endurance. This is courage and leadership. He is extraordinary." Liam reached the edge of a small plateau. He looked at the trapped aliens and noticed a narrow crevice leading down to safety. Carefully, he guided the first researcher down, holding their hand to steady them. Then he helped the others, one by one. The storm was relentless, but Liam remained calm, moving with precision despite the sharp pain in his body. A large boulder suddenly shifted and blocked their exit. Liam assessed the situation quickly. Using his strength and careful positioning, he pushed the boulder just enough to create a gap wide enough for the young aliens to pass. Each movement was calculated, precise, and performed with confidence. "You are amazing," one young researcher said, awe in their voice. Liam smiled. "We humans survive by working together. Courage is useful, but teamwork saves lives." As the last of the young Zarkans reached safety, Liam turned back toward the storm. A piece of debris had trapped an older researcher under rubble. Without hesitation, he lifted the heavy stones, supporting the alien as Kira and Vorn assisted from behind. The older alien gasped in relief as Liam carefully freed them. "You are remarkable," Kira said, watching the scene. "Your endurance, strength, and focus are unlike anything we have seen." Liam shrugged, though a faint ache crossed his face. "I've faced worse. Humans learn to act under pressure. Pain is temporary. Saving lives matters more than comfort." The storm raged for hours, and Liam guided the researchers to a safe area within the station. He moved carefully, resting only briefly when necessary. Every fracture in his body throbbed, but he did not complain. The aliens noticed how his mind remained sharp, how he calculated each step, and how he maintained calm authority. Vorn recorded the entire rescue. Even with 17 fractures, he led the group safely. "This is beyond any protocol. He is not merely resilient. He is extraordinary." Kira nodded, her color glowing warmly. "This human is teaching us more than medicine or biology. He is teaching courage, leadership, and determination. Humans endure because they choose to, not because they have no choice." After the storm passed, Liam finally allowed himself to rest. He leaned against a rock, breathing steadily. The fractures in his body ached more now, but he felt satisfaction and pride. Kira and Vorn approached with supplies to help him recover naturally. "You did not need to push so hard," Kira said. "Your body is fragile. Even for humans, this could have been serious." Liam smiled. "Fragile is relative. Pain is part of learning. Today, we saved lives. That is what matters. Vorn studied him carefully. Your actions today demonstrate something remarkable. Humans endure not just physically, but emotionally. You continue because it is necessary, not because it is easy. I think all humans have this potential, Liam said. We train, we push, and we protect. Survival is more than biology. It is purpose, determination, and courage. The young researchers gathered around, thanking him repeatedly. Liam waved them off with a gentle smile. You were brave too. Remember, courage is not the absence of fear. It is moving forward despite fear. Kira and Vorn exchanged glances. Their respect for humans had grown immensely. They had studied many species, but none had demonstrated the combination of physical resilience, mental focus, and courage that Liam displayed. As the sun set on Zarkin, Liam sat quietly outside the dome. The fractures in his body ached faintly, but he felt alive. He had faced danger, guided others, and proven once again why humans were extraordinary. Kira approached and said softly, "You have shown us what humans truly are. Not just strong, but capable of courage and leadership that inspires even advanced species." Liam smiled and shrugged. We humans survive because we must, and we help because we care. That is what makes us endure. Vorn nodded, recording every word and detail. This will be invaluable for our studies. Humans are truly remarkable. As night fell, the twin moons of Zarkin rose, casting silver light across the rocky landscape. Liam leaned back, watching the sky, feeling satisfaction in knowing that he had faced the storm and helped others safely. The aliens observed him, realizing that humans were more than visitors. They were teachers, leaders, and examples of endurance in its purest form. The day after the storm, the Zarkin station was quiet but tense. Kira and Vorn had spent the night reviewing the data from the rescue. Liam's actions had impressed them beyond measure. 17 fractures, yet he had moved with precision, calm, and courage. They were beginning to realize that humans were not merely resilient, they were extraordinary. Vorn, Kira said softly, we must study him more carefully. His body and mind operate in ways we cannot fully understand. It is remarkable. Vorn nodded, his sensors still analyzing the data. Indeed. We have recorded every movement, every response, but the combination of strength, focus, and courage is beyond our calculations. Humans may hold lessons our species has never imagined. Meanwhile, Liam stepped outside the dome. His body ached faintly from the previous day's efforts, but he ignored it. Pain was something he had learned to manage. His mind was focused on the canyon to the north, which had survived the meteor storm. There were discoveries waiting, and he could not rest for long. Kira approached him, carrying a small device to measure stress and muscle strain. Liam, we wish to run a series of controlled tests today. Nothing harmful, but we want to understand how your body adapts under controlled stress. Liam nodded. I am ready. Let's see what humans can do. The first test was simple. Liam was asked to climb a series of rocks that had been marked with sensors. Each rock tested balance, strength, and endurance. He moved slowly and carefully, paying attention to each fracture in his body. Kira and Vorn recorded every detail. You are steady even under strain, Vorn said quietly. The fractures should cause instability, yet you move flawlessly. Liam smiled. We humans learn to compensate. We use our minds as much as our bodies. Pain teaches us caution, not hesitation. Next, they introduced small weighted objects for Liam to lift and carry along a short obstacle course. Each weight was carefully measured to challenge his strength without causing further injury. Liam picked up the objects with ease, adjusting his posture to avoid stressing the fractured areas. You are astonishing, Kira said. Even with the fractures, your strength remains exceptional. I have trained my body to adapt, Liam replied calmly. It is not just strength. It is timing, balance, and awareness. That is what makes humans resilient. Vorn recorded every movement, fascinated by the natural adjustments Liam's body made. Your muscles, bones, and reflexes work in harmony. It is unlike any species we have observed. Liam continued with the tests, climbing, lifting, and balancing. He showed the aliens that humans could endure strain, recover, and continue performing at a high level. Each task was completed with calm precision, his mind focused and unshaken by the aches in his body. After several hours, Kira and Vorn paused to discuss their findings. Even without our healing technology, his body is adapting, Kira said. The fractures are healing slowly but steadily. Humans have an internal resilience we cannot replicate. Vorn nodded. And his mental focus enhances it. Fear, pain, and stress do not impede him. He uses them to stay alert and maintain control. It is remarkable. Liam rested briefly, watching the glowing horizon. Humans endure because we face challenges deliberately. Pain is a signal, not a barrier. Purpose drives us forward. Kira approached him with a question. Liam, how do you manage to remain calm under pressure? Most species we study react instinctively, often freezing in dangerous situations. You seem composed. Liam smiled. Experience and mindset. Humans prepare for danger mentally as well as physically. We practice, observe, and learn from every challenge. That helps us stay calm and make the right decisions, even when injured. Vorn studied him closely. Your species may possess a combination of endurance, intelligence, and courage that is unmatched. The ability to maintain function despite injury is extraordinary. Liam stood and began walking toward a small ridge outside the station. There are always new challenges, he said. Each obstacle teaches something. That is why humans explore and endure. Kira and Vorn followed, their sensors and recording devices active. Liam climbed the ridge carefully, testing each foothold and adjusting his posture for balance. The fractures in his body throbbed faintly, but he ignored the discomfort. Each movement was deliberate, precise, and efficient. At the top of the ridge, Liam examined a formation of crystalline rocks that pulsed faintly with light. These formations interact with the environment, he said. Observation and careful study reveal patterns and relationships. That is how humans learn through experience, attention, and patience. Kira nodded. You demonstrate not only resilience but also curiosity and intelligence. Your species survives because of more than physical strength. It is your mind that guides you. Yes, Liam replied. Humans endure because we think, adapt, and act. Pain is temporary. Knowledge and purpose last longer. The aliens observed as Liam descended the ridge, balancing on narrow ledges and stepping over sharp rocks. Every movement was calculated, showing the natural adaptation of his body to stress. The fractures throbbed, but his focus remained unbroken. Vorn whispered to Kira, even after injuries, he demonstrates physical coordination and mental control beyond our understanding. Humans may be the most adaptable species we have studied. Kira's color shifted warmly. And courage, Vorn. His courage inspires those around him. He faced danger yesterday and continues to show determination today. It is extraordinary. As the sun began to set, Liam returned to the station. He was tired but satisfied. His fractures ached, yet he felt alive. The aliens reviewed the data from the day, recording every detail. Liam's performance had proven something they could not ignore. Humans combined endurance, intelligence, and courage in ways that made them exceptional. You have taught us much, Liam, Kira said quietly. Humans are not fragile. They are extraordinary in mind, body, and spirit. Liam smiled and shrugged. We are not perfect, but we endure. We explore. We protect. That is what makes us human. Vorn nodded. We will continue to study you. Your species has lessons for all of us, not just in biology, but in courage and resilience. As night fell over Zarkin, Liam looked out at the horizon, watching the twin moons rise. He reflected on the day's challenges and the lessons shared. He knew there were more obstacles ahead, more discoveries to make, and more opportunities to show what humans could achieve. Kira and Vorn watched him quietly, realizing that he was more than a visitor. He was a teacher, a guide, and an example of the extraordinary resilience of humanity. For the aliens, this human had become a symbol of what it meant to endure, adapt, and inspire. The morning air on Zarkin was calm and clear. Liam stood outside the dome, stretching his arms and feeling the faint aches from his fractures. Despite the discomfort, his posture was relaxed, his movements steady. Kira and Vorn approached, their expressions a mixture of admiration and concern. Today was his last day on the planet, and they had gathered to observe one final display of human endurance. "You have shown us much, Liam," Kira said. "Your presence has taught us about courage, resilience, and focus. We wish to see you complete one last challenge before your departure." Liam smiled. "I am ready. Let's make it a good day." Vorn led him toward a large canyon at the northern edge of the station. The canyon was deep, with jagged cliffs and uneven terrain. It was a dangerous place, even for uninjured species. Liam's fractures throbbed faintly, but he ignored the pain. His mind was clear, focused on the task ahead. "This canyon is unstable," Vorn warned. "Rocks shift unexpectedly. It will test your balance, strength, and judgment." "Perfect," Liam said. "That is what humans do. We face challenges, adapt, and continue." They entered the canyon carefully. Liam moved slowly at first, testing each step, feeling the pressure in his fractures. Despite the aches, he climbed, balanced, and navigated obstacles with calm precision. Kira and Vorn followed at a safe distance, observing every movement. "Even now, he adapts naturally," Vorn said quietly. "Every step is calculated. His body compensates for injuries instinctively." Kira nodded. "And his mind remains sharp. Humans do not freeze in danger. They think, assess, and act. That is extraordinary." As they progressed deeper into the canyon, Liam spotted a narrow ledge along the cliff wall. Below, a small river of glowing liquid flowed swiftly. Without hesitation, he moved onto the ledge, testing the surface with his foot. The fractures throbbed, but he adjusted his balance carefully, keeping his center of gravity low and steady. "You are risking yourself," Kira called. "Even humans would be cautious here." "I am aware," Liam replied calmly. "But humans survive because we face danger thoughtfully. Fear is a guide, not a barrier." Halfway along the ledge, Liam paused to examine an unusual formation of crystals growing from the cliff face. They pulsed faintly, reflecting the light in shimmering colors. "These crystals are alive in some way," he observed. "They respond to movement, temperature, and light. Observation teaches us more than theory alone." Vorn studied him closely. Even with injuries, he is able to focus on learning while navigating danger. Humans combine endurance, intelligence, and curiosity in ways we cannot replicate. Liam continued along the ledge, reaching a narrow gap that required careful climbing. He assessed the distance and handholds, then moved deliberately, one hand and foot at a time. The fractures in his body ached faintly, but he maintained focus and control. "You move with incredible precision," Kira said. "It is not just physical skill. Your mind directs every action." "Humans endure because we think," Liam replied. "We adapt. We act. Pain exists, but it does not stop us. Purpose drives us forward." Once across the gap, they reached a plateau that overlooked the entire canyon. Liam paused, looking at the glowing river, jagged cliffs, and distant mountains. His body was tired, but his spirit was strong. He had faced danger, pain, and challenges, yet he remained calm and capable. Kira and Vorn approached him quietly. "You have demonstrated what humans are truly capable of," Kira said. "Strength, endurance, intelligence, and courage. Your species embodies all these qualities." Liam smiled. "Humans survive because we learn, adapt, and protect. We face challenges not to avoid pain, but to grow and achieve purpose. That is what makes us endure." Vorn recorded every detail. "We will share this knowledge with our people. Humans are more than visitors. They are teachers, examples of resilience, and symbols of courage." As they returned to the station, Liam moved carefully but steadily. His fractures throbbed faintly, yet he did not stop. The aliens watched him, realizing that humans combined physical and mental strength in ways their species had never encountered. Liam's calm determination, focus under pressure, and unwavering courage had left a lasting impression. Once back at the dome, Liam sat quietly and stretched his legs. Kira and Vorn approached him, carrying simple refreshments. "You have earned rest," Kira said. "Even humans must recover." "I will rest," Liam replied, smiling. "But I prefer to keep learning. Challenges teach lessons no theory can." The aliens watched him quietly, their respect growing. They had observed humans before, but none had shown endurance like Liam. 17 fractures, extreme terrain, and real danger, yet he had moved with precision, courage, and calm focus. He had inspired the young researchers, taught lessons about survival, and demonstrated the essence of humanity. Kira spoke softly. "You have shown us more than we could have imagined. Humans are not fragile. They endure, adapt, and inspire. Your actions will be remembered on Zarkin for generations." Vorn nodded. "We have learned much. Human resilience, courage, and intelligence are extraordinary. Your species teaches that true strength is not only physical, but also mental and emotional." Liam leaned back, watching the twin moons rise over the horizon. "Humans survive because we face challenges willingly. We endure because it matters. Courage, purpose, and care for others guide us more than technology or protection ever could." The young researchers gathered around, offering thanks and admiration. Liam smiled at them. "Remember, courage is not the absence of fear. It is moving forward despite fear. That is what humans do, every day." As the night settled over Zarkin, Liam prepared for his departure. He had explored the planet, survived dangers, and shared lessons of endurance and courage. The aliens had witnessed firsthand what humans were capable of. 17 fractures could not stop him. Pain could not deter him. Danger only sharpened his focus. Kira and Vorn stood beside him, their colors glowing with respect. "When you leave, know that you have taught us more than medicine or science. You have shown us the heart of humanity," Kira said. "And we will remember," Vorn added. "Humans endure because they choose to. They are extraordinary." Liam smiled, adjusting his pack. "Thank you. Humans survive, explore, and protect. That is who we are. And every challenge is a chance to show it." As he boarded his ship, the Zarkin landscape spread below him. The cliffs, the glowing rivers, and the alien station all reminded him of the lessons learned and shared. Liam looked back at the aliens who had watched him with awe, respect, and admiration. Humans were capable of enduring anything, teaching courage, and inspiring others simply by living fully. The engines hummed, lifting the ship from the rocky surface. Liam watched Zarkin recede beneath him. The fractures in his body were still there, faint reminders of the dangers he had faced. Yet he felt strong, alive, and accomplished. For Kira and Vorn, Liam's departure was more than the end of a visit. It was the culmination of lessons learned, an example of courage, and a testament to the power of humanity. They had witnessed what no technology or protocol could create. Humans endured because they chose to, and Liam had proven it in every action, every movement, and every decision. As the ship disappeared into the sky, Kira whispered, "Humans are extraordinary. We have much to learn from them." Vorn nodded. "And we will. Liam has shown us the true strength of your species. It is courage, endurance, and purpose combined." Liam's journey on Zarkin ended, but the lesson remained. Humans were not fragile. They faced challenges, endured pain, and inspired others with their courage. And even with 17 fractures, a human could shrug, smile, and say, "No big deal." The twin moons of Zarkin shone brightly over the alien landscape, a silent witness to the extraordinary example of human resilience, courage, and determination. Liam had left a mark not in stone, but in the hearts and minds of those who had seen what humans were truly capable of.